Welcome to Empowered to Grow, the podcast. I am your host, Hanan Basha, the business doctor. Following our conversations with empowered women who woke up one day and consciously claimed, I am more than enough, I am worthy, I am empowered to grow. And along their empowering journey towards realizing their own potential and their quest for growth, they became a beacon of hope and guidance for others. May you also find your inner power to grow. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Empowered to Grow. This is the Unchartered discussions part, and this is the part where it's a free flow of conversation with amazing women. Continuing the conversation with my friend, Monia Pyraki. In the first episode, she touched on something that I'm like, I think we need to delve a bit deeper into this. And it was the issue of fertility and conception and the loss and the grief of a miscarriage. And I think as we were talking a bit earlier, not a lot of people talk about this, not because it's a taboo per se, but generally just because they can't find the people who can hold this space for them to voice their concerns and voice their fears and everything that comes with it. And unfortunately, also, there's a lot of expectations that are placed on you once you're in a relationship and once you're married and stuff is like, what isn't going to happen? You know, when are you going to have your child and stuff? And I believe I've spoken about this before, but let's address it again. It took us 8 years to have our son. So we had to go through a good number of infertility treatments, IVFs. We had 4 IVFs. The third is when we had our child. We had the miscarriage the first time. We didn't get pregnant the second time. Our pregnancy actually with our son was, they were twins and we lost one during the pregnancy. And then the fourth wasn't. And I think the roller coaster of emotions and of thoughts and of expectations and of trying to not keep your hopes up, but at the same time, you know, hope for the best and everyone around you. It is such a challenging time for not just the mother or the person trying to conceive, but also for as a couple. It's testing for you as a couple. What's your experience of it, Monia?
Yeah. So thank you for bringing up this topic. And one of my goals and intentions after whatever happened to me was to support as many women as I can, even by talking or, as you said, just holding the space, but allowing myself to just bring this topic up. And also it's something I'm mentioning in my story, in my website, because I think it's so important for people just to know. And then when I met you, I didn't know what you had been through. And I was actually surprised and shocked by how the universe brings you together with people that have had a similar experience in different times. And then you have this immediate, instant connection. And this can happen with other women as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So as you said, I come from a Mediterranean family that as soon as I got married had, all the expectations.
Yes. When? Why aren't you trying? Try harder. I'm like, what do you mean try harder?
Exactly. And all this already brings a lot of pressure. Yes. And at the end, when we got married, it wasn't something we wanted immediately. We wanted also to travel. We both had very demanding jobs. So we left it a bit and we didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
So then after a couple of years when I was pregnant, I never thought that something bad would happen to me. I never had it in my mind that something. So unfortunately, I was in Qatar during that time, and it was already past 3 months, and we already seen and heard the heart of the baby. So when we realized that doctor's appointment in that small room that unfortunately the baby was not alive, our world just shut down. Mine and my husband, it was like a death, and it is a death.
It is.
It was very hard to accept and very hard to think, my God, this happened to us. And all the grief we went through took a lot of time to heal, and mentally, but also in my body physically.
Yes, that's true.
So working again with your body, loving your body, and believing that your body can support you to become pregnant again.
Yes.
But even not even thinking that, working in your calmness and loving this body after what happened. So it was a big shock, but then again, I'm a big advocate of wellness and community and people. And during that time, all the people from the yoga studio, I can also mention the name, Nia Yoga in Qatar, were all the team I was working with were so supportive and so kind. That played a huge role. And also my close friends, my family, and talking about it, crying about it, and letting everything go out, releasing was my thing to do. And that's what I would also say to someone else, like, share it, talk about it, take it out so you can create space for something else to come.
And I think that for me was the biggest hurdle, that I didn't get that chance. I bottled it in because, I also discovered here that, that we lost, and they were twins, but we hadn't heard the heartbeat. And the doctor had delivered the doctor that we saw here delivered the message in such an inhumane way. It was like, oh, your baby has no heartbeat. Oh, they're dead. I'm like, what just happened? And it was such a shock. And then I called my doctor in Egypt, and he's like, okay, hang on, just wait, wait another week. And then maybe it's a bit too early for the heartbeats or whatever it is. And see another doctor. And we went a week later, and the other doctor was super compassionate and super nice and super supportive. And she went through all the tests and all the ultrasounds and everything. And she's like, I'm really sorry, but there's been a detachment in the placenta, and the baby's no longer viable and stuff. And then I've traveled to Egypt to have the DNC procedure. And when I was there, I think it was about, excuse me, because everyone around me was so heartbroken and disappointed and crying and grieving and stuff. I had, in these situations where you decide that I have to be strong for everyone. And then I came back home here, or I came here back to Qatar, and I'm alone with my husband. And also it kind of felt, I could feel the burden, but at the same time, I'm not able to grieve. I just have to, as you said, just stand strong and keep going on and find a way to get across. And I wasn't into wellness then. I didn't understand the impact that it had on my body as well. And I believe it took me a good 8 to 10 years to actually grieve that miscarriage, to grieve the loss. And then after the loss of our other baby within the viable pregnancy, which is difficult because I don't think I had anyone that told me, take it out, to hold the space. And this is parts that as you said, I also found that it's part of my mission to talk about it. And I know I get sometimes the looks of, why are you talking about this? How can you say that your baby was on IVF? I'm like, what's wrong with that? This is not like the 70s where this was a hush hush, it's not like there's something wrong with us. It's a medical procedure. Science and the universe has given us the opportunity to, enroll science and try. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying. I mean, it's not a guarantee that you will end up with a baby, but it's my way and our way of giving it a shot. And I remember I had a conversation with a lady as well that we weren't that close, but we met a few times, and it was really nice. And we were sitting and having coffee, and I can't remember what they brought up. And I was like, I was talking about my experience with the IVF and trying. And then I found her like, she started getting a bit teary eyed, and she's like, thank you. I'm like, what? She's like, we've been trying, and we had the miscarriage, and I can't talk to anyone about this. I feel so alone in it. And it's amazing how just that you brought it up and you were so at peace with the idea. I'm like, it's out of my control. I think that's the other part about when you go into coaching and understanding and stuff. It's, for me, was really a decision and a conscious decision about what can I control and what is out of my control. I could do everything that I can, and that I have the capability and the capacity and the finances and everything else to do, but I can't control the outcome. Mm-hmm. And that is no way a reflection on me. doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. And I think that's the biggest part. It comes with shame and guilt that there's something wrong with you, that you're not having a child. And even those that decide consciously, I don't want to have children. And everyone looks at them and is like, what's wrong with you? And you're always shamed immediately. They're like, there are people who have been trying for so long and they can't. I'm like, and that's not my problem. I've consciously decided I don't. So I think this I don't know, this topic is still ridden with a lot of taboo / shame / guilt / I don't know, judgment also.
Yes, but I think that the more we talk about it, the more we bring awareness, the more we empower, which is like your theme and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even changing the life or just making even one person's life a bit better would make a change.
Yes.
And by talking about it, not everyone will be ready, but to talk or share. But I think that it's good also for people to talk and share when they are really ready. But just to know that they're not alone, because in my case, when I started really talking about it, I found like more than 3 women that told me that, yeah, this happened to me as well.
Yes.
And also this happened when I was in Qatar, which also I thought that people would not share so much, especially like because of also the way that the society is, like in my country, exactly the same.
Yes.
And then, no, women trust women. I've seen that. I believe in women empowerment. And this is like another big thing for me, talking about things that are beneath.
Yes.
In order to achieve what we want, our goals, our aspirations, if we have like blockages inside of us, whatever those are, mental, physical, they will stay there. Like if we don't like release those blockages, we usually can't move forward like with clarity, with space.
Yes. And I think that's the essence of what coaching is about. It is not only, it is not a de-blocker, but it is it's a tool and it's a system to help you identify first that there are blocks, what these blocks are, and then support you in the way of how can you unblock these things. And not by unblock, you can't just remove it all completely, but it's kind of breaking it down and tackling one piece at a time and all of this.
Yeah.
And I believe that is what made me fall in love with the concept, is that you can be equipped to support someone who feels helpless, who feels stuck, who feels out of choices and out of options. And that in itself, whether that be just by talking. And I say, I always say this, I'm like, if you're expecting me to give you actions, no, I'm not going to, instructions, I'm not going to give you instructions. Yeah. But together we can go through your options, explore the pros and cons on each side, and then it's up to you. That's your life. At the end of the day, this is your life. You're living your life, and you are the one who has to go through whatever, go or grow, and it's your choice. But it is having kind of that support system. It's having those kind of other eyes into what you're going through and other perspective, and someone just kind of shedding a light. I think that's a beautiful thing about the support.
Yes, and now a quote came into my mind that says, the teacher appears when the student is ready.
That's true. That's a big chunk of it.
Big chunk, because people, teachers, coaches, yoga teachers, whatever is what we need will appear when we are ready, because it means that we will set up this intention to the universe asking for it. And then obviously we need to take actions, as you said as well. It's not like everything will just come.
Nope. Unfortunately, the magic wand does not exist in life.
No. It's good to have wishes. It's good to have dreams.
Yes.
And even if you want to have children and you can't, you have to start taking actions, like talk to people that went through it and seek advice. And then eventually, if you really want something, I really truly believe with all my heart, it will happen. It happens. It might take more time, but it does happen. And
it happens in a way that serves you also.
Yes.
So you have to accept that there's more than one delivery channel and delivery methods and delivery form for your dreams and aspirations. It might not be exactly like you had it in mind, that whole shape, but it comes in different ways. Like, as the example you're using, if someone really, really wants children and they can't biologically have it, then there are other options. There's adoption. There's, helping foster kids who are going through something. There's a volunteering. There is surrogacy. So there are the options. It just might not be exactly the way you had it in mind. And for us, it was the same thing. It was like, okay, after you've had your child, when's the next one? I'm like, okay, it's like, and then it didn't happen, and then it's not happening. And then I'm like, I've actually made peace with the idea that originally I wanted 3 kids, but I've made peace with the idea that we're blessed that we had our son. Exactly. And you know what? That's enough. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. So it is that. I think the bottom line is the universe, God, whoever and whatever you believe in, they've got your back. And they're there to support you. They're there to send people and circumstances and tools your way to augment whatever you had in mind and whatever you aspire to. And but you have to be ready, and you have to be prepared, and you have to take control and take actions beyond that.
Yeah, great summary of what we said for this situation, but also beyond.
Yeah. Well, Monia, thank you so much. That was enriching on so many levels. And I think it's a form of healing as well. And I love that you could talk about, we could talk about things that are traumatizing, but in a way that empowers us to be able to heal through them. I think every day. I don't think you ever heal 100%, but I know that we're enabled now to process through them a lot better.
Yes.
Well,
because we are not alone. We are.
No, we aren't. Well, kisses and hugs to your boys. God bless.
Your son as well.
Thank you. And as always, empowered you empowers others. There is the space. There is the support system. There are those outside who will share your story, who will support you through your story, who will empower you through your story. You just have to open up your heart and your mind to get to them. Love, abundance, and prosperity to you all. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Grow podcast. For further engagement with a tribe of empowered women, join my Facebook group, Empowered to Grow, or visit my website, www.hananelbasha.com. I'll catch you on the next episode. And until then, know that empowered you empowers others. Love, abundance, and prosperity to you all.